So it's not like I do that project and, you know. So this has been in the works for, well, it depends on how you look at it. I first spoke to the curator here years ago, like 3 years ago, and it was pretty, maybe even more than that. Anyway, it was pretty soon after leaving college anyway. And then, you know, but that was just a meeting. And then really around about this time last year, we started talking properly about doing an exhibition here. And I put a proposal in for her, of which this was part of it, but a sort of an earlier version, you know. And then I did another proposal for her or not another proposal, but revised it and worked on it. And you know, you do, that's what you do. And this, I mean, this has changed quite a lot since the initial proposal, because of course, you know, well, you have to adapt to realities of things, you know.
Does this part, I mean, because this is obviously part of the exhibit, does this have its own name, the floor?
No, it ought to.
So we've got the floor, and then we've got flood, which
so we've got a floor and we've got flood, which is the light bulbs and water. Then these branches that are on the wall, they're called Lunaganga, and there are two pieces that are old, which are flood and Lunaganga. Well, you can see what they are, right? They're kind of bookshelves, and they were from flood. And this one I first made a few years ago when I was working together with a friend of mine called Julie. And this one we started doing when we were in Sri Lanka. We got sent a big travelling thing. It was great. Anyhow, and it was, for me, it's kind of, I just think of it as being like about this fantastic place in Sri Lanka. But that's only for me, isn't it? And for most people, it's like about, you know, it's either about the forest or this kind of invasive plant coming into your house and then you adopted it, or you know, or you might just see it being about the kind of oddness of the sort of shifted materials. Like if you go and have a look at them, they have all the texture of wood, but they also have this kind of odd plasticky quality, and I quite like that sort of. It's not exactly a conflict. It's like I don't know how to put it, like a conversation or something. Yeah, everything in this exhibition is one way or another about furniture. Like how. Some of it is kind of how could I get rid of the furniture in my house, which this is quite a good way of getting rid of your furniture, I think. And this is like another way, just if you imagine that I sat here for like a million years and everything just eroded to accommodate me, or you if it was your house, obviously. Well, you get the point, don't you? So it's just like a way of making it comfortable for me, you know? And there's another one, that's what I was just fiddling with over there, this be much more kind of subtle one in that corner. Then there's two more furniture pieces. One is a table which has like the same kind of this kind of thing, more like if you lay on it for a long time, you know. And I think what I wanted to do with some of these projects, there's a few things. One was about. One of the things is just about making like quiet projects, you know, like because a lot of the things that I've done have been sort of in their way like quite kind of hysterical, you know, like loud and all of that. And there's a funny problem with Bridge, which is that like I really want that to be absolutely like a solitary thing, you know, like a solitude and very calm and very quiet. But the problem is that so many people want that they turn up in crowds, and you know, which is a problem with a lot of kind of art installations as well. You know, they're supposed to be like experienced by an individual, but there's a huge queue for them. It's a real difficult issue. Anyhow, this was partially about like making very sort of quiet projects. I think a lot of designers or a lot of the way that things are designed, it's as if all you ever do is have parties in your loft apartment. You know what I mean? Like, it's as if that's life, you know, but that's not. That's just like a pretend version of life. It's like a magazine version of life, isn't it? And a good bit of life is staring out of the window thinking, how the fuck did I say that? You know? And I wanted to make a project, like, part of me wants to make projects that sort of that address that, you know, that sort of say that, actually, you know, that's, you know, I spend more of my life doing that than I do with my cool friends, you know, and, yeah, so I like that as a subject.
Tell us about the desk and there's another.
Okay, so the other table is basically a furniture version of this, right? And then there's another table which is a different kind of theme, and it's okay. So it's a child's desk. It's upstairs in bits and boxes. It's a child's desk, and each leg of the desk is has a kind of joint in it, which is effectively a knee, and you can put this handle on the top and crank the legs, and so they stand up like that. So it means that you know, when your kid is 4, it's like that high, and as it gets bigger, you just crank it up a bit every once in a while, and it gets bigger. So that's big enough for an adult. I think another thing that happens with designers and with artists as well is sometimes they sort of pigeonhole what they think design or art or life or whatever is about. You know, they say, right, my life is about I don't know, voids, and their whole work is about voids, and I don't get it, because I think that, you know, like being a person is, you know, sometimes fun and sometimes miserable and, you know, sometimes boring, and, you know what I mean, like all of those things they're all part of being alive, aren't they? And so within this project, it's I think I want to have that. I don't want to, you know, I want to have almost like different, I don't want to say moods because it's such a horrid word, but I think I'm not interested in just establishing a single language and then saying that's my work is about that, because it just depends actually, you know, what I want today, and
Well, there's all sorts of different experiences here.
yes, yeah.
You can bring your own mood to an experience too.
I think it's not only your own mood that you bring, it is that, but there's also more than that, because I think one of the things about, you know, I'm a product designer, you know, that's all my training is about design, and that's how I think about things. And one of the implications of that is that when you're a designer, you don't necessarily get to say what your work is about. It's not like being an artist where you can write the definitive plaque and say, right, I did this and it is about this. Because, you know, when things that designers make, they just go out without you. And no one's going to read the instructions even if you write them. And they acquire their own meaning according to how other people interpret them. And it's nothing to do with you, you know? So, you know, I have my own sense of what the projects are about, but it's not you know, that's by no means definitive, you know? Because it's actually just not really up to me.